I'm Gail, and I come from a musical family. My mom was the organist at our church, and so in our house we had an organ and a piano, and you know, so there was just, it was automatic in my house that you took piano. So we all took piano, and then fourth grade, same as Maggie, at my school in Mar Vista, they offered us an orchestra, and I don't remember, why I picked the cello, but I picked the cello, and so I've been playing ever since. And then music was sort of always really in sort of in the background for me, but always there. And then about maybe 15 years ago, when my son was old enough to sort of, he didn't need me all the time, I started asking the question, what should I be doing? And the phone would start ringing, or something would happen. There'd be some sort of musical connection. Can you teach my child to play the piano, or would you like to do this with cello? And so now I'm a music specialist, and I work at several different schools, one in Conejo, one in Simi Valley, and I do general music education, a lot of singing and movement, and we do the New West Symphony Music Band. Anyway, so now my whole life is music's really come to the foreground for me, and that's my story.
Hi, I'm Kristen Hall, and music has always been used in our house too. Growing up, in a different way though. My dad played a little bit of guitar. He was self-taught, and my mom sang all the time. But they didn't really have musical instruments sitting around either. But my mom always played the radio and the record players and stuff, and she always had that skilling. And it's funny because I look back and I have friends that always say, gosh, we love going to your house because you always have music playing, and we always tease my mom because my birthday's late September, and right after my birthday, the Christmas music came out every year for like the next 3 months, and we'd have Christmas music all the time. And I thought, gosh, I wonder why that was. And then when my kids were like, I don't know, 2 and 4, and they were driving me nuts, and I was just like trying to calm them down to eat dinner. Oh, Christmas music. So I started playing it too. The last 3 months of the year. Oh, that's my birthday? All right, babes, turn it on. And it was amazing the impact it would have over your dinner hour, calm them down, and everyone's happy. So, but I started playing cello because I went to a wedding when I was a kid, and they had a harpist there, and I just thought, oh, I want to play the harp. And my parents, the next year, they said, well, there's a music class in school, 5th grade though, not 4th, and it was, at that time, there was no music offered in elementary school. This is up in Ventura. So the local middle school teachers had gotten together and wanted to create a demand for music, basically, with these kids that were entering the following year into middle school. So they offered a 1-hour-a-week class after school. We went in, and violin, of course, everyone picks violin, right? And I had no idea what the other instruments were, but, and the next week I went back and they said, well, we need a volunteer to play cello. I went, sure, no idea what it was. And so I went in with the violin and came out an hour later with the cello. And my mom was like, oh, your dad's going to be jealous. And I was like, ooh, really? Okay, I'm going to play it then. So I just had fun, and I played in the school system for a couple years and got a private, really could tell I had a band instructor because, again, got to middle school and there was no strings. There was band, and that was it, no strings. And he had me playing trombone music in the trombone section. So I couldn't hear myself for the whole year. I had no idea what I sounded like. But at the end of the year, he's like, you obviously love this. You need to go get an instructor and go play with the Ventura County Youth and Civic Orchestra. And so that's what I did. I went and got a teacher and my own instrument and started playing with them. And then I entered college. I entered as a music major, and I graduated from Cal Lutheran. But I ended up not staying a music major and switched to political science, and played though the whole time. I played in the orchestra there, the chamber group, the Conejo Valley Symphony for 3 years with them, and then I graduated and I stopped playing. Didn't play for like 7 years, and I went and got a master's, worked in finance for 10 years, and woke woke up one day, married, and I was like, wow. I was commuting like 4 hours a day, and I was like, wow, I do a lot of things, but there's like no balance left, and I wanted to come back to playing something. And kind of like Gail, the minute I started thinking about it, my husband and I went to a little concert in the park in Camarillo, and we came across the Moore Park Symphony out there playing. And so we went and talked to the conductor at the halftime, and he's like, I want to play. He's like, okay, come on in. So I've been playing with them for the last 14, 15 years now. And so yeah, just a few years ago, then I found myself as a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 young kids, and summertime, all this endless time stretching out in front of you. I was like, what am I going to do with my kids? So I went and bought on Craigslist a cello and a violin, and started teaching them how to play, and just learning, like, because teaching your own kids, as you may know, isn't as easy as maybe teaching somebody else's kids. So I would go through and play around with different methodologies, and then one of the cellists in the orchestra was saying, oh, you need to try this one and that one and try this. And anyway, it was fun, so I learned a lot through that process. And then one summer I put them in a camp, and I thought, no, someone else gets to teach them now for a couple weeks. And that's where I met Gail. And she was saying, oh, I'm a music specialist, and I do these things. And it's like, wow, that's kind of neat. I wonder, you know, because I didn't major in it, I wonder if I could still teach it, you know. But and so I went in, and I said, you know, our school really needs music, because the school was at Santa Rosa Tech, right over here, where my kids go to school, and they didn't have any music classes. So this last year I offered, and I had Gail with me, and we went in and we offered to teach 1 hour after school class. And it's for kids in 1st through 5th grade. A lot of the local schools only teach grades 4 and up, but you know, we taught the younger kids, and we learned a lot from that experience, because we found that our best students in that class were the youngest ones in 1st grade. So they didn't fit the preconceived notion that the older the student is, the more likely they are to, you know, they might learn it faster, but they weren't going home and applying themselves. And they didn't have the parental practice partner. A lot of the 1st graders, the parents took my advice on parental practice partner, and they worked. And at the end of the year, they were the ones that outplayed the older kids. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, so that's what we did this last year. Looks like a small thing, but you know, I have a favorite quote from Mother Teresa, where she says, there are no great things. There are only small acts with great love. So I think it's a neat way to think of it. But anyway, I put on the back of those sheets there the whole thing about the benefits of music, which is pretty amazing, you know, to think that it has such healing impacts, helps with healing stroke victims, and lowers blood pressure. And they were saying, this article I was reading about it said, you know, you can play music, and and it didn't matter what kind of music it was, but it was the tempo of the music actually impacts, if you're just sitting and listening to it, actually impacts your resting heart rate. And so studies were showing that, you know, you could sit and listen to music, and you could listen to it, and it would change your heart rate. And then when you stop listening to the music, it would have a positive effect, like your heart rate would go back to a better pattern, apparently, or something along those lines. So I thought, that's pretty amazing to think. And they're saying, you know, learning music is one of the few activities you can do that incorporates using the whole brain. Because if you think about it, you know, there's a lot of fine motor, gross motor skills involved, as well as reading something, listening. It's a whole spectrum of things. So it's interesting. So
one thing about our program is we didn't really know what to expect. You know, of course, we didn't know who would sign up. And we're both cellists, and we got like, what, 18 violinists?
right, yeah.
Which was really funny. And 2 cellists, and one of the cellists was Chris's daughter.
Right.
But by the end of the year, I mean, it was so wonderful to see the progress that these kids made. Now, they may not have all been playing in tune, but they could play, even the 1st graders, you know, and especially the 1st graders,
yeah.
right? You know, they didn't play in a rest. You know, they knew that they would stay with the tempo. You know, it was really impressive to see their progress by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Is there a story? Do you stay with one cello, or do you have different cellos along your life path, or how does that work with your current instruments and?
Well, I think it's a matter of preference. Yeah, I mean, I've had this one since I turned 17. My parents bought it for me when I was going into college, so for auditions and stuff. So it was fun.
Do you
But
name
I've just
it?
kept
See?
it.
Do you
No.
That was my question.
Gender and a name.
Yeah, I've never named it. I never thought about that.
But I like that idea. We could all name them.
They're so beautiful. Such a beautiful.
Yeah.
I had a cello when I was younger that my teacher found for me, and to be honest, I don't know what happened to that cello, but this cello I bought from somebody I was playing in an orchestra with. This one's 100 years old, or actually 102.
Wow.
Inside there's a label that says Baxter Northrop, which is a music company. I don't even know if Baxter Northrop still exists, but anyway, it says 1912.
Wow.
So, and it's been remade. I had to have it redone because otherwise it would have fallen apart. The string maker told me. So, but this one I've had about, about 30 years.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Can I ask one more question?
Uh-huh.
Do you know where did the cello come from? Was it like a grown-up violin? Was it from? I mean, do you know anything? When did this cello first appear in the music world?
My understanding is that it doesn't come from the violin. It came from a stand-up instrument that viola da gamba.
they had the hole between their
Like
knees
this.
with no end pin.
Yeah, a smaller
So-
version of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have there been cellos?
Oh, long,
I know it's
at
since
least-
mid-1600s.
Yeah.
But,
400
yeah.
Wow.
They had to hold it with their knees and then play. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'm impressed by the strap that you use to put the pin in so that the cello won't slide. We didn't have those back when I was in high school.
Did you have those little round things, or did you have nothing?
For a while, we didn't have any.
Yeah.
But the problem was when I was playing in high school, it's back in the day when we were wearing straight skirts.
Same experience, yeah.
I mean, I learned to play it
Side
finally
saddle,
side
yeah.
saddle.
I did
That's
too.
the only way I could do it. And we finally got a wooden piece with a big hole for the chair
Yeah.
Like your dad
and
made for you.
holes
Yeah.
for the pins. But those straps.
These straps are great. The cello does not move.
What are they made of?
This is just a material, like a heavy-duty material with a piece
Or
of
do you mean
plastic.
the cello?
No.
Oh,
The strap?
Just,
Oh, okay.
It's just heavy-duty material with plastic at the end, and then it goes in the chair leg, under the chair leg. So it just, I mean, you can move it sideways, but it's not going to go. It's not going to slip. That's what you don't want it to slip.
That's great.
What wood is it made of? What is the wood?
The cellos are made out of maple and spruce.
Yeah. Usually the spruce is the top part.
Yeah.
There's about 75 pounds of pressure that gets placed just in the middle portion of the instrument because of the strings. It's all tension based. So spruce is one of the few woods out there that can conduct the sound but still have the resiliency and the strength to handle the pressure placed on it. So, yeah, it's interesting.
You know, one of the first things you tell your students is the bridge, which is this thing, is not going down. Right? It's all held on by the tension of the pressure of the
Really?
strings. So like violins is the same. You know, everyone thinks at first they're glued and oh yeah. No, but it's just, and it's really risky if the strings get loose, and there's a sound post inside that can fall over, and that's a big disaster.